All right. Well, thank you for joining us for the San Francisco CASA report call. I'm Renee Espinoza, the Executive Director of San Francisco CASA, and I'm happy to be able to share a bit about what your support has been accomplishing. Just a few notes here. There is no need to take notes as we'll be recording. We'll send you all a recording after the call. So we'll get started. 3 years ago, San Francisco CASA embarked on a competitive project to determine what's next for the organization. And I'm happy to share an update on our progress today. We'll allow for time at the end for your questions. Please feel free to submit questions using the chat function at any time. If you're on a computer, you'll see the chat box on the right, and on a phone or tablet, you should see a chat bubble. We're going to start by sharing a quick client story, and I'm happy to introduce Jim San Marco, one of our board members. Jim, please share John and Keenan's story.
Thanks, Renee. When John was assigned to Keenan's case as his CASA volunteer in January of this year, Keenan was not interested in a relationship with him. He thought John was just another paid worker on his case and already felt that there were too many adults in his life who didn't care about him. In his time in foster care as a preteen, Keenan had already been in 7 different housing placements. He didn't trust adults and was struggling in school. He had behavioral issues and would frequently have outbursts saying that nobody cared about him. John began calling Keenan on his phone to ease him into this new relationship. After a few months, Keenan agreed to meet John in person. John took him to the park to play sports, out to the movies, and helped him explore the new town where he was placed. Keenan appreciated going out with John because he hadn't felt comfortable in his new community yet. He was even happier when he heard that John was a volunteer and was there only because he cared about Keenan. They've since developed a wonderful friendship. John recently was appointed as Keenan's educational rights holder and is helping him work through his difficulties in school. He's been working with school administrators over the summer to ensure that Keenan has the support he needs next school year. Keenan is learning to trust John and sees that unlike the other adults in his life, John is consistent. John is working to find a relative for Keenan to live with. John has shared that in their short time together, Keenan has grown and shown great progress, having fewer behavioral outbursts and beginning to show a greater sense of calm.
Thank you, Jim. San Francisco has a tremendous responsibility for nearly 1,000 young people separated from their families and placed into the foster care system. We take this responsibility very seriously. Given the realities of most foster youth, we know that we must provide more consistency and trust each youth while also addressing specific needs and opportunities. A foster youth in San Francisco, on average, attends 9 different schools, is moved to 7 different placements, and has 7 different social workers. This instability adds to the trauma that foster youth already experience and impacts their educational achievement, health, and emotional well-being. For 28 years, we have not changed our core mission. Our vision is that every child has a safe and loving home and is given the opportunity to thrive. And our mission is to transform the lives of abused and neglected foster youth by providing one consistent, caring volunteer advocate trained to address each child's needs in both the court and the community. And with a trusting relationship at the core, CASA volunteers advocate for foster youth across 6 key advocacy areas that you see here: promote healthy development and an eventual transition to successful independent adulthood. Based on the 6 advocacy areas, we developed a new tracking system. Our new system has really streamlined work for our staff, with volunteers entering information directly and being able to access information on their child's case. We've learned a lot in this process and realized that we may have been a bit too ambitious in the number and scope of areas that we were trying to measure through our volunteer surveys. We are now in the process of simplifying the volunteer surveys so we can increase participation. At the same time, we've redesigned the survey so it will help our volunteers really think about the youth through the different advocacy areas and identify where their advocacy could make a difference. By identifying our top program partners, such as the Guardian Scholars Program, the College Access Program SOAR, located at UC Berkeley, and San Francisco's Independent Living Skills Program, can now focus our efforts to build even stronger partnerships where we know our youth will benefit. We've also been asking our volunteers to track and log where they spend their time, and a major focus has been around educational advocacy. The results of this advocacy is really exciting, as 84% of our clients are graduating from high school. That's compared to 50% of foster youth statewide. Another area of program development is our juvenile justice program. We've known for a long time that the population of youth in San Francisco's juvenile justice system has tremendous crossover with the foster care system, and there is often movement back and forth between these two systems. Youth in juvenile justice have also suffered the same types of trauma as youth in foster care. And when a youth first enters the juvenile justice system, there's a critical opportunity to intervene and help to change the trajectory of their life. While there may have been some initial resistance to working with yet another service provider, our partners in the juvenile justice system now cannot say enough about how valuable a CASA volunteer can be. We recently hired a staff member dedicated to expanding this program and supporting these volunteers. The fact that every referral includes a request for an educational rights holder means that there is no one in the youth's life responsible for making educational decisions, and the need for educational advocacy is great. Education is an area where we know a trained volunteer, like a CASA, can make a real impact, and that can really change a young person's life. A major goal for us has been to bring this impact more of San Francisco's foster youth. We know how many new CASA volunteers we need to recruit in order to meet our ambitious growth goals. We are very actively recruiting and training volunteers. For the last 3 years, we surpassed our growth goals, largely as a result of improved volunteer retention. Many volunteers have taken on second or even third cases. This year, we didn't quite meet our goal of serving 360 youth. We served 341 youth. Recognize we are facing a challenge with volunteer recruitment. We've made numerous changes this year. We assembled a group of current and former CASAs to present our volunteer info sessions. What I really like about this is that they can personally bring their own experiences and perspectives to the discussion, and it becomes more powerful for potential candidates to hear from a peer who has gone through the training and done the work personally. We've also hired an additional staff person, redesigned our volunteer info session, and enhanced our communication and follow-up to be sure no potential volunteer falls through the cracks. We're trying to communicate that their participation really is needed and that the role can be done while working full-time. And finally, we've achieved a dream of ours. With the help of the Mayor's Office of Economic and Workforce Development and the Bothine Foundation, we've acquired our very own volunteer training space on the ground floor of our office building in the Mission. Come and visit, and we also are hosting other community-based organizations. So if you work with another community base, please feel free to direct them to CASA if they're looking for some space. And even more good news, you may have also seen our marketing campaign that we are calling Spokes Kids Series. With the help of an anonymous gift and pro bono support from advertising producers and the firm Duncan Channon, we've launched a multimedia campaign that you'll see throughout this December. With deeply discounted and free media placement, we are getting tremendous exposure on a modest budget. It includes TV, radio, online, outdoor, bus interiors, and we're even on Uber and Lyft cars. Launched in April, we've already seen 3 months of record traffic on our website and an increased interest in the volunteer info sessions. If you see our ads, please let me know. I love to hear where people are seeing them. This year has not been without challenges. With the economic environment in San Francisco, it has become challenging to live here and survive on the typical nonprofit salaries. It has also been important to me to support our employees as the excellent professionals that they are. The competition for talented staff and the disparity in salaries in the Bay Area is hard to believe. More and more of our new employees live outside of San Francisco, and the commute is a constant challenge. We have seen more employees leaving the Bay Area than any time in my professional career. We are proud that many are pursuing graduate degrees to continue working in the field, but have been challenged to figure out a way to keep our employees working in San Francisco. We are also concerned that staff turnover will impact volunteer retention. Our success these last few years is partially that we have developed strong partnerships with our volunteers who have taken second or third cases after their first case closes. We have increased our investments in employees across the board. I am happy to say that for the first time in 8 months, we are again fully staffed, and all staff are aware that we must make a special effort to maintain those vital volunteer relationships. And another challenge that I've been speaking about for far too long continues to get worse. Of all of California counties, San Francisco has the highest percentage of foster youth living outside of the county. We just do not have enough foster homes in the city. San Francisco CASA has supported efforts to recruit more foster families, and this is one area we could really use your help. It is a crisis in San Francisco, and far too many people are unaware of it. You can help by spreading the word. Every time we look at the data, we're amazed that word of mouth is by far the most common way our volunteers learn about San Francisco CASA. Share SFCASA's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn posts. Maybe you're a member of a group who has access to media to help us reach more potential volunteers. You can host a volunteer info session at your place of employment or worship, or through a social or cultural group. Host an event to spread the word. Or consider becoming a CASA volunteer yourself if you haven't already. Attend a volunteer information session to see if the CASA role is right for you. San Francisco CASA provides all of the training that you'll need. Or help us to address the crisis in San Francisco by becoming a foster parent. All of the information is listed. Thank you so much for your time today. That is all for my presentation. I'd like to open it up to questions. Paul has been collecting the questions. And one question is, how big is your new space? The new space has been set up in a configuration to accommodate approximately 35 to 40 people sitting classroom style. So for sitting, I would say a maximum of 40 participants. Here's another question. Are you looking for any special types of people to be CASAs? That's a great question. Most people think that you have to have a lot of experience either working with young people or specific experience working in the law. CASA provides all of the training that you'll need. What we're really looking for are people that are ready to make the commitment. We ask for 18 months upon completion of the training. And while we are looking for folks who are bilingual, we're always looking for more men. Really, anyone can be a CASA volunteer. Great. Well, there are no more questions. As I said in the beginning, there are no need to take notes as we'll be sending out a recording of this call. Thank you so much.